Hello, thank you so much for joining us. President Trump taking a high-stakes call with the leader of China on the same day he ignited a feud with the richest man in the world. The president spoke with Chinese President Xi Jinping this morning for a long-awaited conversation about trade. Going into the call, both sides had accused the other of undermining existing trade agreements. President Trump was asked about the call while meeting with the German chancellor in the Oval Office.
We had a very good conversation with President Xi a little while ago. I think we're in very good shape with China and the trade deal. We have a deal with China, as you know, but we were straightening out some of the points.
Now, while the president sounded positive on his call with Xi Jinping, a new feud has erupted between him and Elon Musk, who was a special government employee just last week. Musk has been critical of President Trump's budget bill, calling it a, quote, abomination. The president was asked about their relationship earlier today.
Look, Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we will anymore, but I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden, he had a problem.
Musk fired off a flurry of responses on X, including this, quote, without me, Trump would have lost the election. President Trump fired back on Truth Social saying, quote, Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. He added that Musk, quote, just went crazy over the proposed removal of electric vehicle tax credits. Musk said that was a lie. We have CBS News team coverage on this. White House reporter Aaron Navarro is at our Washington bureau, and congressional correspondent Nikole Killion is on Capitol Hill. Aaron, I want to start with you. We have a lot to unpack. Tell us more about this very public feud between President Trump and Musk. How did the relationship deteriorate?
Yeah, this all started with Elon Musk making a policy disagreement over that budget bill, over what he thought would be too much spending that would be added by the federal government. And then after President Trump voiced that he was disappointed with Elon Musk, said that he maybe was hurt over the electric vehicle tax credits being taken out, Musk expanded his comments about President Trump. He insinuated that President Trump is implicated somehow in the files about Jeffrey Epstein, the multimillionaire who was a convicted sex offender. Elon Musk said that President Trump's tariff plans, which he has criticized before, could cause another recession in the second half of this year. And we're already seeing the impact of this for Elon Musk. You saw Tesla stock drop about 14%, worth about $150 billion. The threat to his businesses from President Trump, who said he might terminate federal contracts with Elon Musk's companies. We know that there are at least $19.7 billion worth of contracts with his SpaceX company alone. So there's no real clear path on how this feud that Musk has definitely poured gasoline on throughout the day could actually help him down the line.
Yeah, this feud certainly going to send some ripple effects across Washington. Speaking of news coming out of the White House, what are we learning about the president's conversation with Xi Jinping?
Yeah, that was the big news that came out of the White House to start the day. It was about an hour-and-a-half talk, something that White House officials had been previewing and placing a lot of importance on, as we believe that this is the first call since President Trump issued his, quote, reciprocal tariff plan. And according to the president's readout of this, it seems that rare earth minerals, which are used to build many electronics, including smartphones, are going to be the main topic in future talks between the two countries. He also indicated that the two countries would continue talks again, meeting in person at the to-be-determined date. If you remember, a couple weeks ago, U.S. and Chinese officials met in Geneva to concoct a sort of a baseline agreement. The announcement that there was a call today signals to me that they are restarting talks that had, otherwise grown stale in recent weeks.
From a global economic leader to a European economic leader, the president also hosted the German chancellor at the White House today. What were the key takeaways from that meeting?
Yeah, Chancellor Merz was the latest representative, if you will, from the European Union in trying to get President Trump to stop his, quote, reciprocal tariffs, of which it could be at least 30% or so on Europe. But as you saw in the Oval Office, the talk transitioned from trade to Ukraine and Russia, where the German chancellor seemed to argue that the U.S. could do more to stop the war between Russia and Ukraine, could put more pressure on Russia. But when he was asked by reporters if he would place additional sanctions on Russia, President Trump said he would do that only if it's clear that there is not going to be a deal between the two countries, and signaled that they could also be applied to Ukraine as well.
Aaron Navarro reporting for us there. Aaron, thank you. Now let's switch gears, move over to Capitol Hill. CBS News congressional correspondent Nikole Killion joins me now. So, Nikole, how are lawmakers there responding to this latest back and forth between the president and Musk?
Yeah, well, I think everyone here is watching this as a ping pong or tennis match. Just the heads keep going back and forth. It certainly is the talk of Capitol Hill. But at the same time, many lawmakers are really, particularly the congressional leaders, are trying to kind of keep focused on the task at hand, which is ultimately delivering the president his so-called big, beautiful bill. So, whether it is Speaker Mike Johnson or Leader John Thune, while they have acknowledged they have differences of opinion with Elon Musk over this bill, it is not going to stop them from trying to do the work. And really, as far as the Senate is concerned, time is of essence, because the president has made clear he would like this bill to his desk by the July 4th holiday. So we continue to see various committees produce their portions of text for this bill. Senators continue discussions about potential changes around this bill. So for them, at least, it's full steam ahead, even despite this Trump-Musk spat.
Yeah, you call it a ping pong match. It seems to me more like a messy divorce. Are there legitimate concerns that Musk's statements denouncing the budget bill could jeopardize it in the Senate?
Well, look, I mean, we've kind of been engaged in this social media back and forth for the better part of 2 or 3 days now. And, even in talking to a lot of conservative Republicans, they have made clear that, yes, they take Elon Musk's point with respect to spending. And many of them agree and share that viewpoint, which is why this bill already makes a lot of deep spending cuts, at least the House version up to $1.5 trillion. And there's talk here in the Senate of looking for other potential savings to make that go further. But that being said, look, again, as far as the House and Senate, they really are focused on trying to move this bill forward. Speaker Mike Johnson, for his part, because I did have a chance to talk to him a couple of times this afternoon, he did intend to speak with Elon Musk today. And he says that so far he has not had that opportunity, although he did acknowledge that the two have traded text back and forth. But he has said that he feels that Elon Musk doesn't have all the information he should. He's putting out erroneous information about this bill, that it's not a spending bill. It is a budget reconciliation bill. He has tried to make the point that even though Musk has called him out about not being a fiscal conservative, Mike Johnson in a post today said, "I am still the same Mike Johnson," insisting that this bill ultimately will provide some fiscal savings. So, look, he remains undeterred, even though he hasn't had a chance to speak with Elon Musk directly about this. But as I said, whether it is him or Leader John Thune, they really are not taking their eye off the ball, rather, in terms of trying to get this bill cleared through both chambers.
Another busy day in the nation's capital with a dash of drama. Nikole Killion tracking it all for us. Nikole, thank you.